Hello everyone, my name is Jurgen, I'm from Smart Profile, and together with my colleague Sanne, we're going to tell you a bit more about our Tele demand generation engine, how we can help you as a Microsoft partner, and how we can help you realize your potential, because that's what we believe in and where we can help you. So to start off with, what is the agenda? So how are we going to walk through how we can help you? Is first building upon the challenge we see with a lot of partners, then how our approach together with you helps us solving those challenges, what the results are, and of course what the next step is, so how important it is to also nurture based on the campaign we can do together. So starting off with the common challenge, we see that a lot of Microsoft partners come into the same challenge, so they want more pipeline in the end. It's always difficult to make that happen. There's some challenges underneath it, so it's quite clear that that's the main thing. Then how do they do it? That's a big question they ask us. Okay, we want to build pipeline, we want to have more pipeline, but how? So in that we see some various questions which are supporting that. First one is who to target. So it's a matter of which data to use, which target audience you wanna target. That's quite difficult. It's also do you have sufficient sales capacity? You always see that you want your sales to focus upon closing the deals, and not on only focusing on new business. And also, do you have the right salespeople to call every time to get in touch with those prospects? So to tell you a bit how we do that, we help you solving all of these matters with our Tele demand generation engine, and that's built on market intelligence. Sanne, can you sort of say what our market intelligence entails? So how do we use that in presenting the right target audience?
Yeah, the market intelligence of Smart Profile will give the opportunity to target the sweet spot into your market based on specific triggers we have. Therefore, it's a big success factor in your campaign. We have a European database which contains decision maker information, IT install base information, and buying intentions. And we also have the option to select on the managed account list of Microsoft. Therefore, we work together on the most interesting target group in order to get the best results. Okay, clear. So how do we come up with the right target audience together with the partner? How does that work? Well, we look at your target market, what are your ideal prospects, and together we look at our database to see what are lookalikes in that. But also we can check if you are good with companies with a certain IT install base, or maybe we know already that they are going to change their environment, and we can use that in order to prioritize your target list. Okay, great. So then we have the right target audience, of course, so we have selected that, but then we need to make the next step in having the right people inside. So how do we approach that? How can we make sure that we got the right people for the job? Well, we think it's important that we work with local people in order that the agents are speaking the local language. Therefore, we have selected several agencies in Europe who can support us on that. And we train them on the Microsoft portfolio, so they are experienced in the IT sector and they know every ins and outs. Okay, so how do they know everything about the Microsoft portfolio? They already did a lot of campaigns, or? Yeah, they did a lot of campaigns, and also Microsoft provides several trainings through the year that they can follow in order to keep up with their knowledge. Okay, and how important is it also to have them focus solely on calling? Because that's something different, I guess. Yeah, what we see if you are focusing on new business with your own sales team is that they get distracted during the day with their own work they need to do besides calling new business, and our people are dedicated on calling, and therefore they can make a certain volume and help partners to achieve a steady pipeline. All right, clear. So then we have on one hand we have the right target audience, we have the
the right people installed. But there's also some other parts which are important. Sonny, you already talked about the local partners, but how does the process work from there? So what is an intake? How does it look like? How does it work?
Yeah, after we agree doing a campaign together, we get in touch with the local agency in order to set up a briefing and train the business development specialist on the proposition of the business partner. They are already trained on the Microsoft portfolio, but it's very important that a partner tells us their unique selling point comparing to other partners in the market. And therefore we do a briefing on location with the local partner, so we can get to know each other and make a clear message to the prospects.
All right, and then we have the briefing, we have the people and the target audience. As soon as we start the campaign, how do we make sure that we have regular evaluations? How does that work?
Yeah, we normally schedule weekly an update call in order to see the progress. We discuss what we find during the calls and see if we need to fine-tune some things. And also at the end we evaluate how the campaign went in order to improve in the future.
Yeah, so the key for us in that perspective is that we are really closely related to you as a Microsoft partner, so that marketing, sales on your end and the agents on our side are closely working together and that we can evaluate quickly. I think that's of course very important. And then within the campaign itself, how do we also look into a next step? So how can we make sure that it's a structured process, so it's connected to other marketing sales campaigns they're doing, either upfront or after the campaign?
We provide the partner with an export of all interviews we have done. So the partner does know everything we discussed with the prospects, and therefore they have the option to integrate it with other campaigns they have running, for example online or maybe a webinar or an event. But also if they are going to call themselves in the future, they know what contacts already are spoken with in the past.
All right, clear. So if we look at a campaign, we can show some results. So in general, we can say if we have a target audience of around 500 decision makers based on the European database we have, then we know we can approximately talk to 90 of those decision makers, and that will lead to approximately a conversion of 13%. So that means that we have approximately 11 leads and also 16 nurtures. What is the difference, Sanne, between a lead and a nurture? What do we call a lead? On which criteria do we base a lead?
Yeah, we use the band criteria. We define all criteria during a lead. We normally call it a lead when 2 or 4 are in place. And normally we spoke with the right authority, and there's a specific need that the partner wants to discuss with the prospect wants to discuss with the partner. Sometimes it's not the right time yet, and then we make a distinguish between a lead and a nurture. And a nurture is somebody who is asking us to call back something later. In order to discuss, because then it's something is working at and not right now.
All right, clear. To show you an example of how we make it very easy for your sales to do the follow-up, we also would like to tell you a bit more on the way we present all of those results. So for example, within the nurturing, you can see on this slide that we've spoken to the decision maker of the IT department, for example. We know that in what part of the buying cycle he or she is right now, and also when is the best time to recontact. Sanne, maybe you can tell a bit more on which stages of the buying cycle are most interesting to do the follow-up on.
Yeah, normally when a prospect is in the satisfaction or in the decision phase, you are not getting any real leads at that point. But everything between that are people who are considering something else, but not always are ready to purchase So somewhere between satisfaction and making the decision is the most interesting to nurture.
Yeah, so satisfaction means that they might have a need, but they don't really see any need to change something or to adopt a new...
They are happy right now.
All right, and the latter stage, so which is also not really interesting to nurture. Can you tell a bit more on what that means?
Yeah, if they already made a decision that they are purchasing something and they are already talking with the vendor about it, then you are too late in the process in order to be in the battle.
All right, clear. So how do we present that? Well, we use Power BI for that. So we present the campaign results based on one hand, we show you the buying cycle inside. So especially as said, some part or the most parts are really relevant to nurture. On the other hand, we also show you all the nurture dates, so you see exactly on what time it is best to recontact your prospect. And also we see that it's very important that if you know when to recontact, that you really do that. And of course we know it's a challenge to make that work. Sanne, what do we see as a main difference if you do the nurturing in a correct way, and what are some challenges we see with some of the partners we already worked with?
What you see is that when you are doing nurturing, you are calling prospect at the right time, and when you first starting a campaign, you need to hope that they are in the buying phase. So that's a big difference. And we see that there are high results if you are doing nurturing. It's a difference between 10% conversion or 11% conversion up to 40% when you do nurturing.
All right, and what do we see is quite a challenge for Microsoft partners in doing the nurturing?
Well, it's a challenge to keep a long-term vision on lead generation. So most partners are seeing lead generation as a campaign with a start and an end, and then you will lose that nurture results because you will not follow up on them anymore in the future, and that are the most relevant results if you look at the numbers.
All right, so I think it's really clear that it's very important that marketing and sales on your end are really involved to do the right nurturing, to follow up on those leads, to really make it work, because it's a total process. And also in the nurture part, to do the right follow-up is very important. As Sanne already mentioned, you can get much higher conversions. In general, we see based on, of course, there are several differences between certain campaigns, but based on last year, the average conversion was around 13%. And if you do the nurturing right, so focus on those phases that Sanne said was most important, then you can reach a conversion of up to 40. So nurturing is really important to do that as well. Well, I guess that's in general what we wanted to tell you about our approach. We've shown you how we do it, how we make sure that we challenge the several challenges we see with a lot of Microsoft partners, and also how we present you the results to do the right follow-up, and in that part why nurturing is very important. Of course, we have a lot of more information if you want to have more detail on that. Sanne, on where can Microsoft partners find more information on our approach and our engine?
Yeah, at the end of the video there will be a link where you can find more information, but everything we have on materials is also shared on the point drive of Microsoft.
All right, clear. Follow the link, and thanks for your time. I really hope that we've been able to tell the things we're doing for you and how we can realize your potential, because we feel that's very important. We can really help you by with a challenge to build your pipeline. So we hope we'll be in touch soon. So thanks again for your attention, and hope that Sanne and me are talking to you very soon. Thank you.